Hey everyone, welcome back to Desert Sun Crypto. I'm your host, the Desert Sun. Thank you for being here. If this is your first time here, I'm just an average guy sharing with you his experience in the crypto space and learning as I go, just as you are, and clicking through all these informative videos on YouTube. I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice, so I just want to get that off the back and off my chest because if that's what you're looking for, certainly go out and find it. My angle on all this is just to dig in a lot of the articles, learn as much as you can, just like anything, and just kind of become a master of it in your own eyes to where you understand it the best you can. Hopefully, the videos that I provide will add a little bit more to that informational side. I've got a lot I want to cover today with regard to jpmorgan Chase and what they announced early today. But let's take a look at the market cap for the space. Market cap is at 1.35 trillion, which is up 2.5%. If you look over here on the right side of the screen, you'll see a lot of green, which is good. Things are moving up. Still not where we were a few months ago or even 2 weeks ago. But that's just how the market is. So here we are on Friday, the 23rd of July. Uh, I did take a day off. I'll tell you, man, putting these videos together, it takes a lot of energy and a lot of time out. So let's get into it. So I, along with many others, saw this article come out in Forbes about JP Morgan, about this about face, and they're opening crypto trade to all clients. A lot of us who've been following this knew that it was coming, that they've been doing some stuff behind the scenes, all while telling everyone what a farce Bitcoin is. This is Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JP Morgan Chase. If you don't know who he is, certainly there's a lot you can read about him. If you're familiar with some of the debacle that happened back around the collapse and the bubble bursting back in 2008. You had a lot of the CEOs of the banks come before Congress, playing the violin, just like all the bankers were. And here he is back in 2012.
This portfolio morphed into something that, rather than protect the firm, created new and potentially larger risks. As a result, we've let a lot of people down, and we are very sorry for it. Now, let me tell you how it went wrong. These are not excuses, these are reasons. We believe now that a series of events led to the difficulties in the synthetic credit portfolio.
Yeah. So anyhow, that's who Jamie Dimon is. He's kind of the, uh, go-to typical, CEO of a bank. Just kind of comes across like he doesn't care about people or humans or anything like that. He's just easy to pick on. I'll show you a clip later. But about 5 years ago, he went in pretty hard against Bitcoin. And I'll share with you an interview that he had and what he had to say.
Why is Bitcoin a fraud?
Yeah, so separate blockchain, which is a technology, from Bitcoin, the currency. And now there are multiple currencies, and so I'm talking about not Bitcoin per se, I'm talking about currencies. The first, and the reason, and I'm not saying go short, because I know Jim Chanos was up there. Bitcoin can tell $100,000 of Bitcoin before it goes down. So this is not advice on what you do. My daughter bought some Bitcoin and it went up, and she thinks she's a genius now. But it's I did refer to it as like the tulip bulb crisis of the 1700s, whatever. But here's the reason: governments, the first thing they do is form a currency. They like to control the currency. They control it through a central bank. They also like to know who has it.
I'd agree with Jamie Dimon there. The government wants a piece of anything that they can. Now, I wouldn't say that Jamie Dimon is necessarily hating on the crypto space really right here. He's just not really loving it because it's the antithesis of the centralized banks and the system that he's a part of. The other thing I wanted to share, though, and this actually came out around the same time in 2017, Jamie Dimon would fire any employee trading Bitcoin for being stupid. And this is literally the next day, September 17th. He said this quote, I love it. I'd fire them in a second for two reasons. It's against our rules and they're stupid, and both are dangerous. So that so that's definitely how Jamie feels about felt. Sorry, let me correct myself. Felt about Bitcoin. I'll get to that and back to the article in a second. But here's another interview he had. This is months after the first one that I showed you in the last clip. I don't know what happened to his elbow. Maybe he got mad at someone for bringing up uh, Bitcoin and smashed his hand into a wall or something. Who knows?
Care less what Bitcoin trades for, how it trades, why it trades, who trades it. If you're stupid enough to buy it, you'll pay the price for it one day. I've also told people that it can trade at $100,000 before it trades to zero. So tulip bulbs traded for $75,000 once, something like that. The only value of a Bitcoin is what the other guy will pay for it. And I think, honestly, I think there's a good chance that Bitcoin, a lot of the buyers out there are up there jazzing up every day so that maybe you'll buy it too and take them out. And I've
Yeah, I don't know what it is about this whole thing with J.P. Morgan Chase or if it's Jamie Dimon. I like seeing that about face article. The thing is like he's just he's just like a villain. He's like a villain you'd find in a superhero movie that you just, I mean, look at that face. Here's him, speaking of villains, going at it with Senator Warren. Now, this is just, great. One, they're just going at it with each other. But, it's just kind of speaking of what's going on right now and what's happened. Um, she's going into him about profiteering off of overdraft fees, and during this moratorium. So here she is. This is about 2 months ago. This is classic.
I'm sorry, Mr. Diamond. That was Mr. Diamond. That was not the question. Did you had an automatic protection? So I'm asking. You were recommended. The regulators recommended you offer that same kind of protection to your customers. How much, in fact, did J.P. Morgan collect in overdraft fees from their customers in 2020? Do you know the number?
I don't know the number in front of me, but
well, I actually have the number in front of me. It's $1.463 billion. That's nearly $1.5 billion that you collected from your customers. Now, do you know how much JP Morgan's profit would have been in 2020 if you had followed the recommendation of the regulators and waived overdraft fees to help struggling consumers? In other words, without that overdraft money, would your bank have been in financial trouble?
We waived the fees for customers upon request if they were under stress because of COVID.
I appreciate that you want to duck this question. Do you know how much your profits would have been if you'd actually waived all the fees as the regulators recommended?
We waived the fees every time.
The answer is your profits would have been $27.6 billion. I did the math for you. So
I got to tell you, I'm not a huge fan of politicians, in particular Elizabeth Warren. But kudos to her for going in and just calling a spade a spade. I mean, does that just make your blood boil? Hearing those numbers. Anyhow, going back to the article, I thought that was interesting. Down here, advisors in J.P. Morgan's 630 billion wealth management division can now accept orders to buy and sell 5 crypto products, including Grayscale's Bitcoin Trust, Bitcoin Cash Trust, Ethereum Trust, Ethereum Classic Products, and Osprey Funds Bitcoin Trust. Now, keep an eye on this one right here as I kind of segue over into a few things that I want to close here with today. Grayscale keeps popping up in the space. They vested, quite a bit in the crypto space as it is. Here's a article that came out 2 months ago. Grayscale Investment becomes the first ever crypto sponsor of an NFL team after inking an exclusive partnership with the New York Giants. The article just goes on to explain the importance that they both, Grayscale and the New York Giants, see in the crypto space. And also wanted to share Sean Culkin. If you don't know who he is, he's a tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs. Uh, in this article, it talks about him taking the entirety of his base salary, which in 2021 was $920,000 in Bitcoin. So he's the first NFL player to be paid entirely in Bitcoin. And we're going to start seeing this a lot. It's interesting. First we're seeing it in the NFL. I probably should have pulled up some more articles with some other athletes who've requested it. But wouldn't that just be interesting to just take part of your salary, or what your earnings are in Bitcoin? I think it would. Anyhow, that's all I got today. Please like, share, subscribe, comment below if there's anything you'd like me to share. Also, I did have to update my Twitter and my TikTok. My fat fingers ended up putting in the wrong handle, so I have updated that. Give me a follow, give me a like, and just check out my content. Got to go, everyone. Take care, and we'll catch up soon.